Welcome to this podcast episode where we're going to be talking about self-love, what it really is and how to really practice it. What I'm going to share with you in this episode is a way of coming at self-love that I would say most likely you haven't come across. And the way that I come at it and the way that I've come to really understand self-love is really through understanding our consciousness and what brings us into a state of wholeness. Now, self-love is not about convincing yourself to like things about yourself that you don't like. And self-love is not about having any sort of conditional relationship with yourself. Self-love is about embracing, receiving, and when you can, loving every aspect of yourself. And what I've discovered on my journey, like absolutely with myself, this has been such a journey for me, but also with so many of my clients, is that you are often rejecting things about yourself that you don't even realize. And self-love is not, oh, I think I look beautiful, or I like these certain things about myself. Self-love is I can embrace myself in my totality. And what that looks like is embracing absolutely everything about yourself, including all of the things that you think are wrong, bad, and horrible, and you should get rid of. So I remember a couple of years ago, working with my coach at the time, William, and I had just gained some weight basically quite rapidly in this certain period, and I was really triggered by it. And I remember working on this with him because I was super triggered by it, and him pointing out to me that my problem was what I wouldn't accept about myself. And that's why I was so triggered and I was in so much resistance about this situation, because I couldn't accept myself. And when I would try to just accept, this version of my body, let's say in the mirror, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get there. I felt disgusted. I would catch a glance of myself sometimes in the mirror when I would walk past, and I would feel disgusted. And, what I came to understand for myself through this process was, I came to actually appreciate and see what I was rejecting about myself. And in this instance, what I was rejecting about myself was looking ugly, looking disgusting, feeling disgusting, being disgusting, not being perfect, not being in control of myself, not being in control of my body. These were the things that I was rejecting about myself. And these were the things that I actually had to embrace and love to practice self-love. It's not that I had to feel beautiful. Feeling beautiful, I think, will often come as a byproduct of fully embracing yourself, but you don't need to feel beautiful in order to love yourself. You just need to accept, embrace, and love all of the different aspects of yourself, everything, including the things you want to reject. So for me, I wanted to reject having that much fat on my body, and also that I felt disgusting and ugly. For me, it was not okay to be unattractive. In my ego, I have to be attractive. And my ego believes I need to be perfect at certain things, and sort of emulating this perfection and just being perfectly in control, perfectly good at this, perfectly good at that, perfectly perfect, right? And so any way in which I was not, I was rejecting, and then that was creating all of this resistance towards myself. And then when you're in resistance towards yourself, you're not going to be in your creative power or flow. Self-love is essential to creating. Self-love is essential to creating because self-love is essential to being connected to your higher nature and actually moving and creating from your higher nature. Because when you reject parts of yourself, you put yourself into separation. And it's just also interconnected, because what you will likely do is reject your expression as well and judge your expression. When you are really in self-love, you love yourself, and it's not like a self-obsession, and it's not like a better than others. It's just like an appreciation of your essence and you and what makes up you. And a part of that is loving what you create. It's like, this is, you do love it. Like the truth, if you're in your wholeness, you do love it, because the truth of your soul is love. Like that, your true soul purpose, your true soul vision is what you love. Your true nature is what you love. Like love is the fabric of it. Like that's it. That's, if you're in love, like you in love as in feeling love in the space of love, like you connected with yourself, you connected with your heart. And when I work with clients to look at, okay, like what would what is your true nature and purpose? What we uncover through these certain processes that I use, these intuitive processes to get to the core of you, is what you love. Like it's what you're inherently connected to, what you would just love for not to get anything else, but just for its own sake, because you love it. You're connected to it. If you have a love for creating clothing from upcycled fabric, that's what you love. If you love, guiding people through certain journeys, that's what you love. You might love creating tinctures from the earth. You might love painting. You just love it. Or you love writing. Or you love creating music. You love singing. It's just love. Like you in your soul are love, and you love everything, and you love what you love. You love what you're connected to. And so part of creating, and being connected to that is loving yourself. And what loving yourself actually is receiving yourself fully as who you are, in the fullness of who you are, and receiving your expression. And any way in which you reject your expression, you judge your expression, you make your expression wrong, like maybe you do painting and you're always getting fucked up about your paintings and you hate everything you paint, that's you not receiving yourself and receiving your expression. Because the truth, and the reason you're doing that is because of concepts. Concepts come from your ego. You overlay concepts and judgments that I am wrong. What I create is wrong. This is ugly. This, if we take it to your visual appearance, this type of nose is ugly. This type of body shape is ugly. This, whatever, it's overlaid concepts. Overlaid concepts. When you love something, when you love yourself, when you love your expression, you receive it as it is, and through that you see the beauty in it. And so it's not about thinking I need to think I look beautiful or I create the best art in the world. It's appreciating your expression, your vibe, what you create, what comes out of you. And, and also your physical vessel, your body. It's just appreciating it. And when you can fully appreciate it, you see the beauty in it. And then you will also see the beauty in other people. You will no longer have this concept of it needs to be this way in order to be right, viable, beautiful, good, something that I want. Whatever you reject in others and judge others for is what you reject in yourself. So if you find yourself really judgmental of people who are fat, let's say, you reject yourself if you reach a certain level of fat on your body. That is the same rejection you have towards yourself. You reject someone and judge someone for being really loud. You reject and judge yourself if you're loud. So however you're rejecting and judging others is a reflection of the judgments you place on yourself as well, and how you reject yourself and the parts of yourself that you reject. Self-love is embracing all of it, receiving all of it. And so what I want to share about that, that I've particularly noticed in these past couple of years, as I have actually come to deepen in this and realize what self-love is part of it is accepting, receiving, loving the parts of yourself that is also rejecting yourself. So there's, the parts of yourself that you don't want to be, like ugly, fat, wrong, messy, I don't know, even it extends even to life conditions, let's say maybe in debt, dependent on someone, tired, low energy, a downer, if you're in a low mood or low energy, or you're feeling negative about things, that could be all examples of things about yourself that you might reject. So there's embracing that. And then there's also embracing and loving the parts of you that is rejecting yourself. So, in my practice with this morning, why this became an obvious podcast episode for me to create was this morning, if you listen to my last podcast episode about the singing workshop that I attended and letting go of your egoic stories, you will have heard me talk about the catharsis that I had last night of just opening what I let go of and opening. And as I was sitting with I have a turn on morning practice that I do to turn on my energy, connect with my higher nature, my higher perspective, and get turned on, get in my oh yes, I guess essentially that love of life and creation and what I'm creating and what I'm about. And one of the things that I did first in it was I was like, okay, where am I withholding love? What am I not loving about myself? I literally wrote that down. I've got it in front of me. What am I not loving? What am I not loving? And I just wrote down what I had just gone into judgment about. There was something about my body that came up, something about how I was running a program, something about, conditioned things as well, that I hadn't got replies about my book from these retailers I'd reached out to, that I had shut down energy over the weekend, just whatever I was rejecting about myself, what I was not loving. And then my next just step in that was, okay, what can I love? What am I not loving that I can love? And so many of the things I wrote down was things like the part of me, so this comes off the back of my process yesterday that I shared in the last episode, the part of me that desperately wants attention and to be good at things and to be seen and noticed being good at things. So I can love that. That's something that I'm not loving, that I'm rejecting, that I have this egoic part of me that wants that. And I'm just going to love that. The part of me that wants to be better than everyone else, because that's what all my wound, part of what my wound stuff was around in the singing workshop. The part of me that wants to appear perfect and flawless. The part of me that wants to retreat from the world, the part of me that is, disgusted by myself and rejects myself. The part of me that, I just want to find another one that's like that. Oh yeah, that can't love myself and judges and criticizes myself. So it's loving that too. It's actually embracing all of that is how you come into self-love, is to embrace it. So I'm just using these different words because it might be different ones that help this start to be something that you can practice, because you might not feel like I can go straight to love. If you can go straight to love, go straight to love. If you don't feel like, and I would recommend trying it anyway, like just write it down and saying to yourself, like, I love this part of me. I choose to love this part of me. And if you can't get there, go to acceptance, embracing and receiving, and just imagine that you're like the divine mother, like this mother loving this wound or this part of you. Like, let's say loving the part of you that feels disgusting, or like loving, like being ugly, like loving the part of you that feels ugly, loving the part of you that rejects being ugly. Like, imagine you're just like this divine mother, just like, oh yes, like that hurting little part. Yes, I love you. You're welcome. I accept you. I embrace you. Practice it honestly, like this is real self-love. This is what will really start shifting things for you, is when you can practice this. And if this feels like, fuck, I've got so much here to explore and to do, like there's so much I reject to hold myself to certain standards, then I would make this like a practice for 2 days, definitely more than 2 days, 2 weeks or 30 days even, like a morning self-love practice. A morning self-love practice is not trying to force yourself to like yourself or pretend that you like things you don't like and that you see everything about yourself as amazing and beautiful. It's to accept, embrace, love everything that's there, everything you don't like, everything you don't want, and to not tell yourself, oh, I do like it, like, oh, I do find my body beautiful like this. It's that I love the part of me that feels disgusting. That is my wound. That's like, that's doing this, because it grew up believing that I needed to look a certain way in order to be lovable. I love that. I can embrace that. I can accept that, and the part of me that feels like I can't accept the way that I look, I love that. I embrace that. I accept that. It could be the same thing potentially around money or your business, things that that you reject about yourself and where you are in life, and just receive it, allow it, embrace it. Imagine literally like swaddling it up, that horrible, gross, wish that wasn't there, like swaddle it up and just love it or embrace it or accept it, whatever feels kind of like your access point to get into it. And through that, you will start to experience self-love. You can also practice this with your creations. If you notice you reject your creations and you judge yourself for things that you've written or painted, or like a class that you ran and you judge the way that you spoke or stumbled over your words, and just embrace that, love that, embrace the part of you that judges that criticizes yourself for that, love that too. All of it. And the more you can get into that, the more you will experience love for yourself and recognition of your beauty, not through forcing yourself to tell yourself that you're beautiful and trying to pretend that you think you're beautiful when you don't, but through embracing and receiving everything that is in you, that you are, which is everything. It's all things. But that's love. That is self-love. That's self-love. So that's all I really want to leave you with from this episode. I'm not going to probably harp on about it any more than that. I would love, again, to know if this episode hit for you, if this feels like this has illuminated something that's going to be really important for you. Please let me know in the comments on Spotify or on YouTube if you're listening on either of those platforms. Otherwise, honestly, please share this with any woman that you know, because women have been so trained to reject themselves. There's so much to that I could go into through cultural expectations and conditioning, but also really through this lineage of Christianity, at least of Christianity. I'm going to say most likely Islam as well, but I don't have the experience with that to really say that, but that we've been taught to reject. We've been taught to reject parts of ourselves and see ourselves as wrong and bad and the cause of bad things, and that we should be like this standard of perfection. And so it's something that so many women struggle with. And I think all women can benefit from like a real practice to bring them into self-love. So please do share this with any women that you know that you think might benefit from it, might, be ready to receive hearing it in this way. And I will see you in the next episode.